Hello, guys. Thank you so much for joining today. It's always a pleasure to have you here on my channel. If this is the first time you are coming across my channel, thank you for coming. Perhaps through Google search, whatever means or whatever way that you happen to cross path today, just know that I'm so grateful to have you on board. I'll highly encourage you to please go ahead to click that subscribe button down below and the notification bell so that you wouldn't miss any of my content, because believe me, it's going to be awesome. I mean, awesome. Check out all of the uh, releases I've had on my page, and then let me know what you think. If you are a returning subscriber, thank you so much. You guys are amazing. We are growing gradually. Thank you for liking. Thank you for sharing. If you haven't liked, please go ahead and click that like button there. Help to share these so that we'll continue to grow. It's because of you that I'm here, and I will continue as much as I can on my end to make sure I give you real, live, practical Scrum information on Agile, not just Scrum alone, but also Agile in general. Okay. Now, as always, if you are in that transitional moment, maybe you're moving from one position to Scrum, or maybe you're new to Scrum, you have heard about Agile, Scrum, project management, you're looking for someone to mentor you or coach you, it is totally free, okay? All you need to do is to reach out. You'll see those information on top of the screen. Reach out to me. As soon as I have those, I will reach out to you and then we can connect. So whether you're looking to be mentored as a new person in the field, or maybe you just want to kind of rub minds together, right? They say two good healths are better than one. So let's see. Just reach out and let's collaborate. Just know it's totally free of charge, okay? That is awesome. All right, so today I'll be sharing with you practical tips, 10 practical tips on how you can re-engage your disengaged team. What does that mean? There are times when maybe a particular team member just automatically drops dead. By death, I mean someone on your team who has been very active at some point, decides to go low. Decides to be silent. Or maybe your team is not as, they are not performing as they should. They are demotivated. So how would you, as a Scrum Master, remotivate them, if there is anything like remotivation? How would you re-engage them? How would you motivate them? How would you get their spirit high? How would you get their enthusiasm up and running? That's basically what we are going to talk about today. This is a very practical thing. And practicing as a Scrum Master, so I know what I mean. There are times when, some team members on your team, they might be very active, so enthusiastic. At some point, their voices are so silent. And then you wonder, are these guys on the call or are they absent today? Now, that's what we're going to talk about today. As always, I'm going to share my screen for the purpose of those that are still new to Agile. So I'm going to share my screen, giving you like a practical, story of, how a new Scrum Master has been able to, experience this scenario. What did he do and what were the results that he got? Okay. So as always, just sit tight. I'm going to share my screen and then we can get started right away. Okay. Yeah. I'm just pulling up my screen here, and then we can get started right away. All right, here you go. All right, so as always, one of the easiest way to tell a story as a Scrum Master, perhaps for those who are going for interview, is to use the STAR technique. So whatever story I'm going to share with you today, I'm going to put it in a STAR technique. STAR technique is basically an acronym for situation, task, action, and result. Okay. What was excuse me? What was the what was the situation? What what tasks did you do as a Scrum Master? What actions did you take in order to get the result? Was it a positive result or a negative result? Something like that. Okay. So now, if whatever name or whatever situation or whatever story I tell today, if it is something you have experienced, just know it's a coincidence. Okay. So I was able to fashion out this story based on my own experience, right? It's not like it happened to me, but I've experienced something close to that. So I was able to create a story just to give you an idea of what I mean, of how a Scrum team can at some point go dead, okay? Now, it happened that there is this particular Scrum Master, let's just call this particular Scrum Master Ima. Ima happens to be working with this team. This is a team that they have been doing very well, okay? But it happened that there is a particular team member, a dev guy. This guy has been very active. At some point, his voice just went dry. At some point, his voice went dry. And Ima was like, oh boy, what is happening here? And remember that these guys, they have a tight schedule. They need to meet their deliverables. They have a tight schedule. So Ima needs us to do something. Otherwise, things might go south. Now, Ima needs to reignite the enthusiasm of this developer. What do you think Ima's task is? The primary responsibility Ima needs to do or task is to investigate. Investigate. One of the errors that I have seen, I've heard, listened to Scrum Master do is to jump into some sort of decision making without investigating, arriving at the root cause analysis. So Ima at this point needed to investigate, identify what really has gone wrong at this point. So Ima needed to arrive at the root cause analysis of why that happened. Why was it that someone who was always as active as hell could drop dead just in a twinkle of an eye? That was what Ima needed to do. Ima needed to do that because he needed to make sure that the team is back on track, that they don't miss their deliverables and their target timeline, right? That was what Ima needed to do. Remember that. So keep that in mind. Now, what did Ima do? Ima needed to take some action steps. First thing Ima did was to have a one-on-one connection with this particular dev team or this particular member of the dev team, just to understand. And from the conversation, Ima realized that this guy was overwhelmed. This guy, committed himself to a task that he doesn't have the full skill set for. There are times during the sprint planning that, depending on how the team goes about their sprint planning, I don't assign tasks to developers. They assign those by themselves based on their skill sets. So Ima realized that this guy, overcommitted, he was overwhelmed, overloaded in a sprint. Then Ima needed to also iron out some sort of goal setting and task readjustment just to make sure that things will go well. Ima needed to provide some feedback, right? And then to recognize the little efforts that this guy has been doing in order to boost his confidence, right? And then not just that, Ima needed to also provide an environment that would be able to empower this guy, some sort of team collaboration. Ima needed to also reignite or reemphasize the agile principles and values. For example, talk about adaptation, continuous improvement, team collaboration, right? And then Ima needed also to do like a regular check-in to make sure that he's kind of monitoring the effort or the tiny wins. And what do you think happened? Or what do you think would have happened? Definitely, the results that happened based on the story was that John's performance improved significantly. He came back on track, feeling so well that the Scrum Master is always there to support them. Now, one of the things that most Scrum Masters do is not being available when their team members need them. Availability is a key thing there. So as myself as a Scrum Master, I make it a priority to always be available. Now, what is one of the ways you could make yourself available? Now, what you could do is, depending on the device you're using to work for your organization, you could also download those communication tools that your team is using. It could be Slack, it could be Microsoft Teams, so that when a team member reaches out to you, even if you're not on your laptop, you can get those notifications on your mobile device, and then you can respond as soon as you can. I understand some, Scrum Masters might be, coordinating 2 teams or even 3 at max. Try as much as you can to always be handy that, your developers or your team members can reach you on time. So that was the situation, that was the action, that was the task, and that was the result that we got at the end. Now, that being said, what are some practical techniques that you could use to motivate your team? Now, based on the story that I have shared with you, how do you think, or how could you modify some of the techniques that Ima had, kind of shared in order to make sure that the team member was on track. There are times when developers get so overwhelmed, right? There are times when team members feel like they needed to take like an hour break just to re-energize themselves. There are times when a team member will tell you, for example, "Hey John, I just wanted to, take or I just wanted to be with my kids. They're just back from school. Can I just take like an hour or an hour and a half? I can make it up a little at a time." Flexibility when you are taking some action, techniques in there, your developers are going to feel like you're always supporting them. Now, I was able to kind of summarize the different techniques you could use to motivate your team. Let's just say a particular team member is not feeling it, or the vibe is not there, if I may put it that way, or you feel like they're not getting their deliverables in time, maybe because one person is drawing them backwards, or maybe the whole team is not functioning as they should from the enthusiastic perspective. What would you do, or what should you do as a Scrum Master? Now, listen, 10 practical 10 practical techniques you could use. I didn't say theoretical. I said practical means that I have used them and I continue to use them. It works only if you work on them. The first thing is to encourage ownership, autonomy. People can be empowered when they feel like they own something. Think about your car, if you have a car. Think about your mobile phone. When you own something, you always take care of it. So Scrum Master, you need to also create the environment that these guys feel like they own things. They own the ceremonies. They own the task. They own the stories. They own whatever they are building. Empower them and see them, skyrocket, see their energy kind of be on top of the roof. The second is to set a clear goal and expectation. People need to understand what they should do at each point in time. If I'm coming to any organization, I always meet with my supervisor to ask for expectations so that I am always working in line with direction and instruction. The third is to foster a positive team environment. Again, people need to feel safe. They need to feel like they are supported, they are empowered. As a Scrum Master, please, it's one of your also prerogatives to create that environment. When the environment is toxic, maybe the stakeholder used to attend and participate, then you need to also keep that in mind of what to do. The fourth is to offer opportunities for growth, right? There are times you can also, draw your developers' attention to maybe like a new workshop happening internally or externally, just for them to feel like they're given opportunity to grow and learn. Okay, so as a Scrum Master, you should also always be scavenging for opportunity for them to grow. The other one is to encourage agile values and principles. I do think that agile, Scrum in particular, is common sense. Common sense in the sense that, if there's any like common sense in the sense, anyway, you got the joke, right? So we need to understand Scrum is basically about the 4 values of the Agile Manifesto and the 12 Agile Principles. The practical and the real, live application of these would help you a long way to, kind of reignite the energy in your team's voice or participation. The other one is tailor motivation to individual needs. We understand that each person is motivated differently. There are people that are motivated by working in different time schedule. There are people that are motivated with money. Some people with some sort of incentive. There are different ways, people are motivated. So as a Scrum Master, you need to figure out psychologically how your team members can be motivated. The other one is about promote work-life balance. Sometimes a team member might, ask you as a Scrum Master if he or she could start work at 10, depending on how your meetings are scheduled. Okay, so as a Scrum Master, you need to figure out how your team member, what are their family commitments. Some people might be married, some people might not be married, they might have kids. So you need to understand each person's, commitments so that you can support them to become efficient. The number 9 is to use some sort of game, right? Some sort of incentive, something that people can be, can use to catch their attention, right? Sometimes when I'm, if I'm working with my team, let's just say maybe on any day at all, right? If my team members happen to, a particular team member is always coming in time for meetings, you can always use some sort of incentive to motivate. Maybe there is a reward, or it could be like a written note, anything at all. These things goes a long way to motivate people. The last but not the least is to celebrate the small wins. Don't think that it's just all of the bigger wins that matter. No, the tiny, tiny wins. It could be someone, helping another developer to kind of, figure out a way to resolve a bug. All of those tiny, tiny wins could go a long way to motivate your team members. Now, which of these 10 practical techniques could work for you? Which one have you used in the past? I want to know. I want to know what have you done in the past to motivate your team. Even if there is none that I have mentioned, could you put that in the comment section? Let's learn from your own point of view too. That's what I thought I could share with you guys today, because I see that a lot of Scrum team members are not really motivated. Have you heard people say, oh, Scrum is boring? I don't think that Scrum is boring. When you as a Scrum Master, when you as an Agile coach figure out some techniques to use, people are going to enjoy Scrum because of what? Scrum is common sense. All right. That is what I have for you guys today. If you like my content, all I'm going to ask, please do click on the subscribe button and like and share. Let's continue to build this, and you support me because of you that I'm here. And I promise is a commitment to always provide you with valuable information when it comes to Scrum and Agile. It's not just things that are theoretical, things that are also pragmatic, okay? Thank you so much for sticking around for about 16 minutes, getting to 17 minutes, listening to me. I hope this makes sense. If it does, please stay tuned. Click that notification bell so that anytime I release new content, you will not miss any of those. All right, that's where we're going to stop. I'll see you again next time. In the meantime, I hope you stay well. Bye for now.